Hello and thanks for joining us here on France 24 for Reporters. I'm Tom Burgess-Watson. In this edition, we're going to be taking you to Thailand, where there were none of the usual firework displays marking the start of the new year. That's because the country is still officially in mourning, following the death of its beloved monarch back in October of last year. King Bhumibol Adulyadej came to the throne in 1946, meaning at the time of his passing, he was the world's longest-serving monarch. Well, his son has now taken office, and it remains to be seen whether or not he'll manage to command the same kind of respect as his father. France 24's Bangkok correspondent Clovis Casselli has been following events for us throughout this period of national mourning. He filed this report.
A moment of communion in a time of despair and sorrow. All dressed in black, these Thais gathered in Bangkok's old city to sing the royal anthem in honor of their beloved King Bhumibol Adulyadej. The passing of the monarch suddenly turned the land of smiles into one of mourning for at least a year. Portraits of the king have been displayed all across a country now draped in black and white. Thailand finds itself at a pivotal moment as he was the one who strengthened the monarchy's relationship with the people. The military junta stepped up efforts to help Thais take part in the commemorations. Sana Karing and his wife woke up at dawn to take a train from the countryside. A trip they rarely make, and Bangkok seems very different. All public entertainment has been banned for a month.
It seems we're about to leave.
The bus takes them to the Grand Palace where the king's body is lying in state. The world's longest-serving monarch is revered as semi-divine. In the 1950s, some kind of a cult of personality was started by the government and was kept alive by generations of Thais who adored Bhumibol Adulyadej. Now, every day, tens of thousands come here to pay their respect to the royal urn.
I've never seen anything like this before. Look, it's just great to see all these people together here just to pay their respects to the king.
Medical teams rush back and forth as temperatures reach 35 degrees Celsius. Charles fell in love with Thailand and plans to soon leave his life in East London to retire in the sun. He's come here with a friend as he wants to show solidarity.
Now, I think it's a complete unique situation in the fact that so many people were so loyal to their king. Now, you know, I come from England and there's a lot of respect for our royalty, but not anywhere near the degree of this. It's unbelievable.
Hundreds of volunteers give out water all day, and the army has dispatched teams to also offer free food. The Karing couple will have waited 11 hours standing up before finally getting the chance to say a last goodbye to their king.
We don't go in.
As night falls, we find Charles, the British tourist. His friend can't hide her emotions.
Feelings from my heart, from the hearts of all Thais in the kingdom, are going to the king. I only want to do good things for the king, and because of him, I wish to only follow in the footsteps of our monarch and live in accordance with his teachings.
The nation has rarely seemed so united, with Thais putting their political differences aside in these times of mourning. The next day, we join the Karings in the Chachoengsao province, where they run their vegetarian restaurants. A neighbour has come for lunch. Soon, the discussion turns to how the king's ideas helped Sana change career. He used to be a builder.
So how are you using his teachings now to live your life? Is the king's sufficiency economy giving you enough?
More than enough. Everything on the table is from my garden thanks to sufficiency economy like that papaya.
What about you?
I focus on the king's principles. He promoted good values for society. Just like him, I think the most important is to be unified and be good.
The king was a reassuring figure who notably promoted sufficiency economy, winning over the hearts of millions of small farmers. It's in the Chachoengsao province that the king created the Hao Hin Son Park, a place where he could put his philosophy into practice. Sufficiency economy draws on the Buddhist tradition with the importance of striking a right balance. The monarch advocated moderation, with limited but diverse production. He wanted Thailand to be able to avoid having to overly import manufactured goods. Narumon Pongkason's parents were farmers. She witnessed the transformation of this area.
You got to know how to work the earth. Good, you see, that's how it's done. Imagine that before this earth was just like desert sand. We've come a long way, and that's because the king put us in the right direction. He helped us use fertilizers and get knowledge.
They hope the king's legacy will live on in terms of defending small farmers. Sufficiency economy protects them from globalization and uncontrolled free trade. They also fear that more youths will leave to find a new life in Bangkok.
The most important thing the king wanted was for us to live well by relying on ourselves, to be able to live in our homes without having to move to Bangkok. If we learn how to live with just enough, then we can all get along.
Whether in the countryside or in the city, memorabilia of all kinds is on offer for those keen to show their love of the monarchy. Most had never known life without King Bhumibol. He projected the image of a monarch down to earth. He visited Thais across the country and communicated on his hobbies like photography or music. At the same time, the glamour around the royal family fascinates people. Prince Vajiralongkorn was proclaimed king 50 days after the death of his father. The palace then issued the new official picture of the monarch, now called Rama X. He will only be crowned in a year after his father's cremation, and by then objects of all kinds will be found on shop shelves.
Authorities send us official emblems and symbols. In general, we receive new pictures and flags, but for the time being, we haven't got them all. We're waiting for stock.
The new king has taken over from a monarch considered to be a stabilizing force during a 70-year-long reign, rocked by some 10 military coups. He always had the final word. The palace helped end violent political crises, such as when the yellow shirts fought the red shirts led by businessmen and ousted Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra. The hatred between the two sides never disappeared, but they all respected and obeyed the king. He unified the nation, and it was forbidden to criticize or defame the monarchy in any way. Thailand's lèse-majesté laws are among the strictest in the world, with prison sentences of up to 15 years per offence. In the days following the king's death, videos emerged on the internet showing actions against citizens accused of lacking respect at a time of grief. This footage shows a woman forced to kneel in front of a picture of the late monarch, with a crowd shouting at her. Ultra-royalist vigilantes hunt down lèse-majesté offenders in Thailand and abroad. In the heart of Bangkok, this old-fashioned wooden house was raided 3 times over the years by police. Sulak Sivaraksa has always lived here, and it's where he was arrested on allegations of crimes of lèse-majesté. A royalist and Buddhist intellectual close to the Dalai Lama, he says the king himself was opposed to these laws banning criticism.
Those in power who claim to be loyal to the king doesn't seem to practice what the king would like them to practice. He said openly on the eve of his birthday a few years ago, saying that anybody bringing the case of lèse majesté is harming him personally and undermine the monarchy. The public statement meeting is against the law already.
Sulak stresses the current military junta has never targeted him. In the 1980s, the king himself intervened to have him freed. He recalls some of their most memorable encounters and what he was like.
Very shy, also introvert. But once you are near him, he could crack some jokes. Lovely person, but don't you argue with him. Become angry straight away. He, the queen, entourage, me. They're all dead now, except the queen and me. It was 1961, England.
Fond memories?
Yes, yes, yes.
Sulak is one of the rare people in Thailand who dares to openly criticize governments and traditions.
Follow me.
He's invited to give lectures around the world in prestigious venues.
I met the Pope in Rome.
Feared by some while also respected,
He was very nice.
he wants to see more freedom in Thailand
I offer him
in
a
the
book,
years to come.
and he loved it. In the Buddhist tradition, one needs a good friend. A good friend is the one who tells you what you don't want to hear. And if you listen to a good friend, if he says something nonsense, you dismiss that. If he says something essential, you should change according to his criticism. Because a good friend in the Buddhist context, it is called external voice of conscience, in Pali called Parato Kosa.
A leader and a spiritual guide, Bhumibol Adulyadej's legacy is strong on many levels. The new Thai monarch is thought to be the richest king in the world and has the power to set a direction for the country and encourage reforms. It all depends on him. High expectations surround Maha Vajiralongkorn, who never enjoyed the limelight. The people are keen for the monarch to be a moral example and a stabilizing force, like his father. Thailand has too often in the past suffered from violence and conflicts between rival sides.
Well, the author of that report, Clovis Casali, joins me now. Welcome back to the France 24 headquarters, Clovis. Just looking at that report, it really comes across this enormous sense of public affection and adulation for the late king. And as an outsider, that's something a little bit difficult for us to really come to terms with. Was it something that took you by surprise?
Well, I have to say, of course, I was fully aware of the fact that the Thai people loved their king, Bhumibol Adulyadej. But the extent of these scenes of mourning after his passing were pretty astonishing, incredible to witness, I have to say. People dressed in black throughout Bangkok, throughout the country, is still the case now. In the few weeks after his passing, no public festivities, bars closed, no public entertainment. For instance, television shows were in black and white, and all the channels that were broadcasting usually entertainment, while those channels were down, there was a consensus that this was a time of mourning, that the Thai people had to get together and show their love, their passion and their sadness following the death of King Bhumibol Adulyadej.
And what you're saying really sounds like a sort of massive sort of coming together of the Thai people, a great sense of solidarity. And of course, it's a country that over the last few years has had its fair share of upheaval and political turmoil. Do you get any feeling that that solidarity that you witnessed, that you've just described for us, could in some way help to bind the nation and to mend some of those cracks and bring Thailand sort of back together?
That's precisely what the military junta and the rest of the nation want. You saw in the report tens of thousands of people at the Grand Palace in the heart of the old city of Bangkok, queuing for hours. We're talking 10, 11 hours in the sun before being able to go and pay their respects to the king in the Grand Palace. Well, those scenes are still happening today with tens of thousands. And these are ties from all social backgrounds, different political parties. And in these times of deep sadness, of mourning with the passing of the king, well, it is bringing the whole of the Thai nation together. And it remains to be seen, of course, whether the cracks, the political divisions will arise, will turn into struggles, demonstrations in the near future or not. But clearly the population for the time being really wants to get together, be united and prevent any instability, of course.
Yeah, so what you're saying basically enforces that view that the Thai king, the late Thai king, was a very much loved individual. And that, of course, means his son, his successor, has a very hard act to follow. Do people think he's going to have the same stabilizing force as the late king?
People in Thailand want him to be a stabilizing force, one that will unify the country, just like his father, King Bhumibol Adulyadej. Bear in mind that there are some of the laws against crimes of lèse majesty are among the strictest in the world. Up to 15 years in jail per offence if you criticise the monarchy. So people are not talking anyway about the future because Thailand does love the monarchy as a whole. Red shirts, yellow shirts, they all support the monarchy in Thailand. And the whole nation, of course, is hoping for peace, for prosperity, and that will come with stability.
Thank you very much indeed for sharing that with us. France 24's Bangkok correspondent Clovis Kesseley, thanks to you. And thank you very much indeed to you for watching this edition of Reporters. See you again soon here on France 24.